What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash. Welcome back to the channel. I apologize because I just want to say I'm sorry for filming this a little late because, for one, I just got out of the shower like a little over an hour ago, and secondly, I got caught up taking care of taking care of some other business. So I do apologize. Not only that, but I did make this video. I tried to anyway. But for some reason, my camera just stopped on me for some reason. So, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try it again. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the brand new archetype. The third archetype, if you will, that's going to be printed. That's going to be printed in the OCG set Collector's Pack 2020. Which will be our version of Battles of Legend Armageddon. And the archetype is called appliancers. It's the appliancer archetype, and there are several monsters. There's three monsters, 5 links, and 3 spells, 2 normal, 1 field. So let's get this underway. So the first monster here is called Appliancer Socket Roll. It is a dark attribute 1-star machine with 100 attack and 100 defense. And if you guys don't mind, I'm actually eating a bagel, so I do apologize. But both of its effects are hard once per turn. And the first effect says, if you control an appliancer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that card is just that effect right there. Just that effect right there is really good because it has the effects. It's basically a marauding captain, where if you normal summon captain, you can summon another warrior from your hand. So that's just good on its own. And then the second effect says, if an appliancer socket roll is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can special summon 1 appliancer socket roll from your deck. So if you special summon this if you special summon a second appliancer while the first one was on the field, you can special summon the third from your deck. So it's basically a triple summon, if you will. So, not too bad, not too bad. Just looking at the cards, just looking at the artwork, it's kind of cool. They're cool artworks. I just don't really see them going anywhere. That's just my personal opinion, and you'll know why once this goes through. While we're continuing. Anyway, the second monster is called Appliancer Breaker Bunkle. Water attribute, 1-star machine effect, with 0 attack, 0 defense. First effect says, during damage count, if your appliancer monster battles an opponent's monster, you can discard this card. Your battling monster cannot be destroyed by that battle, and you take no damage from that battle. So that right there has a really unique effect. Not too bad, not too bad. You know what? Honestly though, I'm just gonna roll along with this video, just because I'm like less than 3 hours away from watching NXT, in which I know that this isn't YuGiOh related, but I want to give a big shout out to Apollo Crews, who this past Monday on Raw actually defeated Andrade to become the new United States champion, and apparently he announced that he was going to give someone an opportunity, which I might be talking about that, excuse me, in tomorrow's video. But anyway, that being said, that's his first effect. Second effect says, if an appliancer or monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish the card from your field or grave instead. So Breaker Bunkle has a really cool effect where it'll basically sacrifice itself to make sure that you go full combo with the rest of your board. So so I would say play this and possibly I would say play this with morphtronics. I think the morphtronic deck could very well make a resurgence, which you never know. Alright, you guys, now for the third monster. For the third effect monster, hang on a second. There we go. So the third effect monster is called appliancer copy buckle. Dark attribute 1-star machine, 0/0. Both of its effects are once per turn. During your main phase, you can target one appliancer you control. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, this card's name is treated as the name of that target until the end phase. So it kind of has the effects of a number 8 Heraldic King Genome Heritage, where you detach a material, you target one of your opponent's Xyz monsters. Genome Heritage becomes that monster's name with its effects, attribute, the whole shebang, and it lasts until the end of the turn. So that's pretty busted. Second effect says during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card in your grave. Then target one appliance or monster you control. Special summon a monster with the same name from your hand or grave. So if you banish this card and you summon, like say Breaker Bunkle, you can summon another one from your hand or graveyard. So that's kind of cool. So I think this will work so well with Morphtronics, just because of the fact that Morphtronics actually did get a little bit of support like about 3 years ago. I think like 3-4 years ago or something like that. And the deck did really well at one time. I think at a world championship in 2010. I want to say somewhere around there. I don't remember. But yeah, so I would definitely see this archetype being worked with the Morphtronics. Anyway, guys, now we're gonna go into the Link monsters. First up, we have appliancer Celtipus. It's a Link 2, bottom left and bottom. Dark attribute machine with 0 points. 2 appliancer monsters, and it has 3 effects. And its first effect says this card cannot be targeted for attacks or opponent's card effects while it is linked. And then its second effect says during damage count, if an appliancer link monster you control that is code-linked to this card battles an opponent's monster, that code-linked monster gains 1,000 points for each monster code-linked to this card during that damage count only. So it gains 1,000 points for each monster code-linked. So it basically has the effects of multiple acts of despair. So basically the effects of like 2 acts of despair, which is not too bad. Because this card is a Link 2, if you have 2 monsters co-linked to it, this card gains 2. The Link monster that's co-linked to him basically gains 2,000. So if you were to co-link this with this next card, which I'll be talking about, which has 1,000 points, it'll go from 1,000 to 3,000, so that's pretty good. And then Celtipus' third effect says, once per turn, if an appliance or link monster you control that is not co-linked to this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw a card. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad of an effect, but the biggest downside to it though is that it can easily the draw effect can easily be negated with Ash Blossom, which honestly doesn't really surprise me at all. Just, because it's it's Ash Blossom. People run in everything. Alright, you guys, now for the third Link monster. Oh, no, the second. Yeah, no, sorry, the second Link monster. Second Link is appliancer vacuum elephant. You get the idea. Dark attribute, Link machine. 1 Link, top right with 1,000 points. 1 appliancer monster. 3 effects. 2 of them, first 2 are once per turn, and the card cannot be used as Link material when it's Link summoned. During the turn it's Link summoned, sorry. Ow. During your main phase, you can send a card from your hand to the grave, then target a card your opponent controls, and destroy it. Plain simple. Plain simple. Awesome effect. I think, it just needs, I think, honestly, again, a lot of these cards can easily be negated so easily. Like once you have these cards on the field, it's negation for days. Your opponent will be like, I got negation for days, I'm going to negate you, you lose. So I would see this archetype as a casual deck, not so much as a competitive deck, but we all know there's going to be that one guy that will make this deck competitive, so yeah. Second effect says, during your main phase, if this card is co-linked, you can target a monster in your opponent's main monster zone and destroy it. Not bad. Honestly, it's not too bad. So if its second effect did resolve, and you were going up against Pendulum Magician, hands down, you would want to target their Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, which has a very powerful effect. And then its third effect is actually kind of cool. And if this card is not co-linked, it can attack directly. Just that broken. Alright, you guys. Okay, I need to stop eating. Oh, I need to stop eating for a second. Anyway, so the third Link monster is called Appliancer Kappa Scale. 0 points, 1 Link top. Water Machine, 1 Appliancer monster. Both effects are hard once per turn, and it's the same as the last one. It can't be used as Link material when it's Link summoned. During the turn it was Link summoned. During your main phase, you contribute this co-link card, special summon, and 1 Appliancer Link monster from your grave, except Kappa Scale. During your main phase, you contribute this card that is not co-linked. Special summon a level 4 or lower Appliancer monster from your graveyard. So it basically is a double Monster Reborn, basically. So that's really good. And then the last Link, and then the second to last, the fourth Link monster is called Dryer Drake. Fire attribute Machine Link, 0 points. Link 1, top right. 1 Appliancer monster. 3 effects. You cannot use this card. Excuse me. It's the same thing. You can't be used as Link material. I mean, you guys know. You don't even need to say it. This card gains 1,000. This card gains 1,000 attack points while it is linked. Excuse me. Once per turn during your battle phase, if this card is co-linked, you can switch the locations of 2 Appliancer monsters in your main monster zones, including this card. And if you do, that other monster can make 2 attacks during each battle phase this turn. So kind of like a Cyber Twin Dragon, where it can make 2 attacks, and also it has the effects of a what's that once? Oh, what's that continuous spell? I think it's World Legacy Guard Dragon, where you're able to move one of your dragons to another zone. So that's kind of cool. Once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack, while it is not co-linked, you can negate the attack. So kind of like a Scrap Iron Scarecrow. And then the last Link monster is called Appliancer Laundry Dragon. Water attribute Machine Link effect. Top link. The link is pointing top. with 1,500 points. Damn. Damn. Again, the same thing as the last one. 3 effects. Neither player takes battle damage from battles involving this card. Honestly, though, I mean for you, that's great. It's great for you, but for your opponent, you want to deal damage to your opponent. You don't want to see points going up. You want to see points going down from their end. Once per turn, if this code link card battles an opponent's monster after damage cal, you can banish that opponent's monster. So, kind of like a Call by the Grave, if you will, where you're able to, where if your opponent's monster was destroyed by your monster's battle, by your monster during battle, you would be able to use Call by the Grave to banish it. So that's actually really good. That's actually really good. But the biggest downside to it is the fact that there are so many ways that you would be able to recycle your banished monsters back into your graveyard or possibly back into your deck. One card comes into mind, and I've been wanting to play Malefics. There's one card that would work out immensely, and it's called Pot of Acquisitiveness, I believe it's called, where you take 3 banished monsters, three monsters that were banished, shuffle them into the deck, and you draw 1 card. So that would probably be the best card to use in a deck like this. And then its third effect actually has an effect similar to Utopia Ray V, where this card says, once per turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster while it is not co-linked, after damage cal, you can destroy that monster, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent, equal to its original point. So basically, if you guys don't know Utopia Ray V, it detaches one of its materials, it targets one of the opponent's monsters. That monster is destroyed, and your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's points. That's what this card is, but it says its original attack point. So not too shabby. Again, if you're going, you would want to target the higher up problematic cards, like Borderlord Savage, Boral Sword. Actually, actually not Boral Sword. Boral Sword can't be targeted by card effects, so can't be targeted by effects. So Borderlord Savage, just pretty much any card that's problematic, basically. So that's really good. Alright, you guys, now we're going to go into the spells. First up, we have Appliancer Reuse, which has a Monster Reborn effect, where it says, target 1 Appliancer monster in your grave, special summon it, but it is sent to the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So it does have a Monster Reborn effect, but instead of going back into the graveyard when it leaves the field, it goes into the bottom of the deck. So you'll be able to reuse that monster over and over again. And I already know this card is going to be used at 3, but some people will tell you that it's better off at 2. If I was playing this deck, I would prefer to run it at 3, and also have a Monster Reborn in hand, just because with this card, what's funny is that you can use the card over and over again. Literally, you can, which is absolutely busted. The second spell is another normal. It's called Appliancer Test. You can only activate one card per turn. Target 1 Appliancer Link monster you control. Special summon as many Link 1 Appliancer Link monsters as possible from your grave to zones that it points to, but they are banished during the end phase. So yeah, that's actually really good. So again, another sort of like Monster Reborn. Actually, this card has a bit of a soul charge effect, because there are how many Link 1s? Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So as of now, there are only 4 link once. So there's Vaculafont, Kappa Scale, Dryer Drake, and Laundry Dragon, and Laundry Dragon. So you would be able to summon all four, but during the end phase they're banished. Not too bad. At least if you did run Pot of Acquisitiveness, you would be able to recycle them back into the action egg, which is really good. And then of course we also have the field spell for them, which is called Appliancer Electrolyrical World. That's a tongue twister. It's a field spell, which honestly, it says you can only activate one card with this name per turn. When this card is activated, you can add one appliancer card from your deck to your hand, except a field spell card. So it has a bit of it has a bit of a search effect, kind of similar to what was it called, Snow Unlive Dark World. So that's really good. Second effect says once per turn, if an appliancer link monster is linked summoned to your field, you can add one appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand. And then third effect says once per turn, when either player's monster declares an attack, you can move one appliancer monster you control to another one of your main monsters. So again, kind of similar to World Legacy Guard Dragon, where you're able to target one of your dragons and move it to another zone that you have. So my thoughts. Ooh, excuse me. Ow. So my thoughts on this archetype. I think it's a great archetype. I just don't really see it being very competitive. You know, at future YCS events, maybe, you know, at future Worlds. Locals is one thing. You know, because locals, is more like more casual, if you will. But you know, so I would see this being more of a casual deck rather a competitive deck. But if the archetype were to be mixed with, like, say, morphtronics, because morphtronics does have a bit of a resemblance to this archetype, I could definitely see the deck going so far. So, question of the day: what do you guys think about this archetype? What do you guys think about the archetype? Do you guys think it's going to be competitive? And where do you see this deck going from when it's released? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious to know. And that's going to do it for this video. I know that there wasn't much to talk about, but honestly, I was very curious about this. So, but guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way, because I have a lot. Because when it comes to this channel, there's always news. There's always WWE news, and there's always Yu-Gi-Oh news to talk about, like this one. And then, of course, also too, opening videos, prediction videos, the usual shit going down all the time. Which is usually every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Weekends are for pay-per-views. And also too, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All three of my links, my 2 Twitters and my 1 Instagram, links are down below. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.